Next Door Neighbors is made possible by the support of the Nissan Foundation.
I never really realized what I'm able to handle until I left home. I'm on my own here. I have to survive.
I have a mixed feeling because I'm missing my parents and all my family over there. And at the same time, I was in Nashville. I'm so blessed here.
I'm not worried at all because I know that this place has a Filipino community, and then we Filipinos help each other. That's our culture.
Staying connected to your roots and making the change to assimilate and contribute to the local community. That's where I think we are focusing on.
My work here is very small compared to what's going on in the world. So I take it day by day, person to person. It's always a two-way exchange. It's not a one-way street.
Prior to the 1960s, fewer than 500,000 Asian immigrants lived in the United States. Today, there are more than 20 million Asian Americans. That growth began with the 1965 Immigration and Nationality Act. It lifted quotas based on nationality and welcomed a diverse generation of newcomers. In fact, Indian and Chinese migrants are the single largest groups of new arrivals to the U.S., with Filipino migrants trailing not far behind. In this edition of Next Door Neighbors, we'll meet individuals from each of these countries, learning what motivated their journeys to the United States and what animates their lives here in Middle Tennessee. As they find themselves living between two worlds, how will they navigate life in a new home while remaining connected to their cultural roots? First, we'll hear from members of Nashville's Filipino community. Joy Ruth Matangihan is president of the Filipino American Association of Tennessee. She's a vocal advocate for Filipino Americans here in the state.
My job as a president is to first and foremost promote our heritage to everyone and to gather Filipino Americans together in fellowship in celebrating our heritage and culture.
Part of that heritage includes a long and initially turbulent history with the U.S. In the years following the Spanish-American War of 1898, the United States annexed the Philippines, making it a U.S. territory. During this time, Filipinos were considered U.S. nationals, meaning they could work or reside anywhere in the United States. By mid-century, however, the Philippines reclaimed its independence, which brought an end to open migration. It wasn't until the 1965 Immigration and Nationality Act that Filipino migration, once again, steadily increased. Filipinos that migrated to the U.S. for jobs proved essential to the world they left behind and became known as Overseas Filipino Workers, or OFWs.
The overseas Filipino workers are very, very important to the Philippine economy and the entire Filipinos. They are hailed as New Age heroes in the Philippines, primarily because of the money that they're bringing in to the economy.
It also leads to greater opportunities for individual families.
With the strength of the dollar as against a peso, a lot of the Filipinos who have OFW family members are able to go to the universities in the Philippines and educate themselves. I'm a product of that. My parents, during those very difficult times, decided to leave 8 to 5 jobs and explore the world outside the Philippines so my brothers and I can have a better chance getting properly educated.
But having a family member working overseas can be challenging.
My mom went to the United States to work, and it's very stressful for us because not having a mother is very difficult, and that sacrifice of not seeing your children so you can give them a better future, it really took a toll, but at the same time, I became more independent.
Eventually, Joy followed in her mom's footsteps and came to the U.S. Thanks to hard work and her parents' many sacrifices, she has multiple law degrees and operates her own insurance business here in Nashville. But she hasn't forgotten the others who are struggling to make it.
I always wanted to help my fellow Filipinos because I know that that's a calling for me. And that would give more value to my life.
With the extra space in her home, Joy rents rooms to several young Filipino workers, including Christian Jamino.
I left the Philippines because I wanted to be a chef someday and to support my family in the Philippines.
The money he makes working at Opryland Hotel goes only so far, though.
Everything here in Nashville is expensive, especially housing. And I can't afford it, so that's why I found this place. This place is great because all of us living here are Filipinos. That's why I'm very confident here and very secure.
He's hoping that confidence and security will give him enough traction to stay on course and accomplish his dream.
I'm planning to build my restaurant someday in the Philippines that has a Nashville taste. And then I hope they like it, and I hope it will be popular because it's different.
Like many Filipinos, Christian sees his overseas work experience as temporary. For others, however, the path can take many unexpected twists and turns.
I always wanted to get out of the impoverished life, I guess. I wanted to do more for my family. I have 11 brothers and sisters. My mother, she owned and operated a store, a convenience store. My father, he was a farmer. We didn't have that much at all, but we were happy and peaceful.
Growing up in a large family with little money, Helen was unable to afford college and left home, eventually finding work in neighboring Hong Kong.
I thought it was just the greatest opportunity because you can make like 30 times more than you make in my country. As soon as I was able, I was helping my family on the island.
Hong Kong is also where Helen met her future husband, an American pilot. Soon, they'd move back to his hometown in Glasgow, Kentucky.
It was so lonely and so scary because I'm like, you're here in a different country. My husband was a pilot, he was gone a lot, and I was so dependent upon him because I didn't have a job. But I have my children with me, so that was good.
Helen says she couldn't see what was coming next.
So he left me. Never imagined that I would get divorced. I have no job experience in this country. I have no college education. I have 2 little children. I have no family that would at least help me with babysitting. I had to find a way to live.
To make ends meet, Helen delivered newspapers, worked in a factory, and served tables on the weekends. Eventually, her determination paid off. Having never given up on her dream of a college education, she was awarded a scholarship to Cumberland University in Lebanon, Tennessee.
It was very exciting. And then again, I had these hopes. I'm like, great, things are going to get better. And then my ex-husband showed up, and then he filed a motion to take custody of my children.
With no money and no lawyer, Helen lost custody of the children in court.
To have your children taken away from you and you don't have any help anywhere. I didn't have an understanding of the legal system in America. That was such an injustice.
With only days to appeal, she made one last call and found a lawyer who helped her regain custody of her children.
That was that moment I thought that one day I would like to become an attorney and be able to help people.
As a student at Nashville School of Law, Helen's now working on her version of the American dream.
Becoming an attorney, I feel like I'm going to have power and the financial means to be able to help my family in the Philippines and to be able to help people find justice like I found justice.
In the meantime, she's figured out how to pay for law school, send money back to the Philippines, and support her college-age children.
It may seem ironic that I have a college degree and I'm cleaning houses, right? But no, it's not at all. I wanted to go to law school. So in order for me to do that, I gotta eventually come up with the money to pay for it. So I started my own cleaning company.
It's Helen's work ethic that's gotten her to where she's at and also explains why she's sticking around.
When I look back, I realize, wow, all these things I have gone through, and I'm still here. You know, I'm the same person, only maybe a lot stronger.
The story of immigration is often about overcoming great odds to improve or even preserve one's life. Inevitably, it starts with a handful of individuals, and from this, entire communities are born. For instance, in 1960, there were only 12,000 Indian immigrants living in the U.S. Today, at nearly 2.5 million, they are the second largest foreign-born group in the United States. They're also the largest recipient of H-1B specialty occupation visas. This generally corresponds with high levels of education and jobs in fields like technology or science. But behind the numbers, there are the people, confronting challenges and trying to find a place in a land that, for many, still resonates with opportunity. Vijay is an IT specialist from India. With a promising career, he and his family were doing very well in their home country. In fact, they had no intention of leaving until he was recruited by a U.S. client to come work in Nashville on a temporary basis.
I decided, okay, I will go. I will stay for 2 years, and I'll come back, and I'll spend the rest of my life with my parents and my relatives.
Despite a good life in India, the prospect of doing IT in the U.S., even on a short-term basis, was very lucrative.
This is a land of opportunities. If you have a capability to do something extraordinary, you can put me here.
Vijay and his family moved to Nashville as planned, but it wasn't long before their plans took on a new life.
On September 8th, 2013, my baby girl was born. She was so cute. That day we felt very happy. We shared the pictures and we celebrated the moment. After 24 hours, they had to do a newborn screen. And the doctor came to our room and he said that, okay, we have a problem. I'm able to hear what he's telling, but I'm unable to process in my mind what he's telling. I feel that somebody's pushing me down into the deep water.
Vijay's daughter, Reina, was born with a rare genetic disorder, and it's often accompanied by severe side effects.
If your kid is not healthy, there is a worst pain. She has a lot of complications like cerebral palsy. Already she got 2 brain strokes and 1 seizure.
Because Reina's care is so demanding, Vijay and his family have made some difficult sacrifices.
I mean, we love to go back to India, but I feel that I was stuck here. Because if I want to go to India, there is no treatment for my baby. She has every right to live. I cannot take any risk. In Nashville, I was in good hands of Vanderbilt. I'm very blessed by staying here. That is the reason I'm able to see my baby girl as a 4th birthday.
Can open his eyes big and wide.
But staying in Nashville wasn't always a guarantee. His visa had a 6-year expiration. Needing some guidance, he reached out to Shri Pallavaram, president of the India Association of Nashville and a former member of the mayor's New Americans Advisory Council.
So when I was working with the mayor's office and doing some work with the advisory council, I would discover a lot of resources, whether it was for social issues or for financial challenges, or people who were suffering with other things. For each of these things, it seemed like there were tons and tons of resources, both in the metro and the state.
With the help of the India Association of Nashville, Vijay was able to extend his visa and stay in the U.S. legally. His daughter is a U.S. citizen.
We met a lot of people, a lot of doctors because of Indian Nashville Association. They guided us, what is good for Reena, what is not good for Reena. They know my situation. I love that,
Today, thanks to opportunities in fields like technology and healthcare, It's estimated that Tennessee is home to more than 20,000 people of Indian origin. Many gather to fellowship at Sri Ganesh, Nashville's largest Hindu temple. But the sheer diversity of Indians in Nashville is more than meets the eye.
We have the Hindus, of course, that most people know about. But then, Islam is huge in India. Christianity is huge in India. We have Judaism, we have Sikhism.
Across town, Nashville's Sikh community gathers at the local Gurudwara, their house of worship. Less than 2% of India's population are Sikh, yet they too have their own distinct customs and beliefs. Amrit Palkar says diversity is normal for Indian society, but unity can be a challenge.
I think one of the things that we need to keep in mind is that India is 30 countries under the hood. And that's because there are different languages. The way you dress is different, the way you speak could be different, the way the food is different. So we've got friends who are all from different religions, castes. We can make a bigger and a better impact if we come together as one group, as Indians. It's hard, it's not easy, but we're trying to tap into individual communities to be able to harness that power together to make a difference.
In 2017, a tragedy struck the Indian community, testing both their unity and resolve. That February, Srinivas Kuchibatla, an engineer from India, was fatally shot while 2 others were wounded. Witnesses say the gunman shouted, "Get out of my country," before opening fire. Although the incident took place in Kansas, its ramifications hit close to home.
We as a community were afraid. We were afraid that we were targets. And then we said we need to come together to express our grief in a peaceful manner and bring the message of love back out to the community of Indian origin as well as Nashville.
What started with a candlelight vigil led to the India Association of Nashville coming together in a way they hadn't before.
The fact that the Indian community is so diverse brings with it certain opportunities and certain challenges. We have about 15 or 16 different organizations of Indian origin, but with unique language and culture. And so we brought all of them together as a united but diverse Indian group, and then used that platform to give back to the greater Nashville community.
This was their way of combating negative stereotypes and projecting a positive view of Indian Americans. In their first coordinated effort, they were able to raise thousands of dollars in warm clothing items, not for fellow Indians, but for Nashville's homeless through Open Table Nashville. For Chris Alapati, owner of a local Indian restaurant, it's about gratitude.
Nashville has given a lot to me. When I first landed in US, all we have is a flight ticket, $100 in the cash, and we have a suitcase of clothes. And now I have 3-4 businesses. Now I need to do something for the community. At Bawarchi, we collected like 58 jackets and 20 pairs of shoes. So it was a really great opportunity for us to think about what we can do for the community.
It's that sense of generosity and community that's inspired so many foreign-born to call Nashville home.
The people around me and the Nashville, somehow everybody is helping, and everybody is sending a good vibes, so that I'm so blessed here.
I truly believe that people who come to America come here to pursue a dream. This is the land of opportunity. It's still true. And this is truly one of the kindest countries in the world towards immigrants.
When it comes to immigration, gratitude isn't always a two-way street. A person might be grateful to come work in the United States, but depending on the mood of the country and the availability of jobs, immigrants are not always welcomed, and sometimes the doors are closed. This was the experience of Chinese Americans in the late 19th century. Today, fortunes have changed. Chinese immigrants are the third largest foreign-born group in the United States, with high levels of education on average. Yet they face a new set of challenges, living not only between two worlds, but two fiercely competitive world powers. In an era when globalization appears to be on the decline and immigration rules are once again tightening, some Chinese individuals in Middle Tennessee are making the case for an ongoing two-way exchange.
Miss Becky, how are you doing?
Dr. Chongbing Drew is used to looking at things from more than one perspective. Trained in both traditional Chinese medicine and conventional Western medicine, he takes a combined approach to healthcare at Vanderbilt's Osher Center for Integrative Medicine.
Chinese medicine tend to think holistically. So we treat the whole person as a whole system. Modern or conventional medicine, and it's more about looking into details. If we combine these two, we have the big picture as well as the details.
Specializing in both acupuncture and neuroscience, his focus is on treating chronic pain, depression, anxiety, and stress. While acupuncture has become more common in Western culture, there are still significant challenges to integrating traditional Chinese and conventional Western medicine, creating barriers to access.
Even though there's increasing two-way communication today, I feel like it's still insufficient. Patients know acupuncture will help them. However, insurance doesn't cover it in Tennessee. They cannot afford that. We badly need the whole health care system to really integrate.
And he believes the integrative philosophy applies not only to medicine, but to society in general.
I strongly believe the two-way street is always better than one way. Because in this way, we can tend a mutual understanding. Same thing to our culture. When it's more diversified, then we have better communication in the first place. We bring all those great things from the world, from other places, to enhance, to enrich the local culture, local environment.
Dr. Guanping Zhang is another advocate of the two-way street. He's been teaching 3D animation at Middle Tennessee State University since 1998.
Well, the original plan was to complete my PhD degree in psychology and go back to China. But things changed, and I got a degree in design graphics and doing 3D animation, a lot of job opportunities in this area. I think that's one of the reasons I stayed.
Many Chinese arrive in the United States as international students or highly specialized workers. In fact, China sends more students to the U.S. than any other country. And like Dr. Zhang, some of those individuals find careers and decide to stay.
I have 2 children who grew up in this community. The community provides a very, very good atmosphere for the immigrant. With this said, I think Tennessee still have a long way to go to have people get more exposure to the diversity of culture. Arts in China.
In 2010, Zhang became director of Middle Tennessee State University's Confucius Institute, an organization aimed at promoting Chinese language and culture in foreign countries.
We want to bring Chinese culture and the language to Middle Tennessee to bring people together and to promote communication. Today's writing. The Confucius Institute provides us a very, very good platform for us to bring other cultures to this community.
As part of their outreach, Dr. Mei Han was brought on to direct the Center for Chinese Music and Culture in 2016.
The mission for the center is to promote multiculturalism. When we learn about any instrument, any specific culture, we are learning about human migration, integration, and cultural exchange.
Despite the center's focus on music, Dr. Han believes it's relationships, not instruments, that are at the heart of that exchange.
The people who actually create music and practice music, deliver that music, has ability to connect people. So a vehicle could be music, but it could be something else.
Among those vehicles is the Chinese language program. The Confucius Institute hosts college-trained teachers from China here in Middle Tennessee. Through a partnership with local schools, These teachers provide language instruction while working to hone their own teaching skills and learn more about the American system.
Okay, wonderful. Okay.
When I came here, I found that education system in America is different from China. Actually, in China, teacher just like a manager. But in America, I think a teacher is more like a friend to communicate with kids. Loud noises, the color red, and fire.
Ethan's hoping the friendship he forges with students will have a lasting impact.
When they grow up, they can be a bridge between China and America, a bridge between two different cultures. I think that's the most important thing for my teaching.
1、2、3。
For teachers like Ann Mays of Homer Pittard Campus School in Murfreesboro, working with Chinese teachers is an opportunity to share and explore different teaching styles. But most importantly, she believes it benefits the kids.
I think what I've noticed the most with our students at campus school is the relationship that they develop with the teachers. So up until now, China's just a faraway place that they read about in books or see in movies, but now they have a personal connection.
小龙，小龙。
At the local level, schools and the university have been supportive of the program. But nationally, Confucius Institutes have some high-profile critics. They voice concern that Confucius Institutes are both a source of propaganda and a network for Chinese intelligence gathering. Dr. Zheng is undeterred.
I think the biggest misunderstanding is that the Confucius Institute is an extended arm of the Chinese government. The Chinese writing started at the MTSU. The academic aspect of the Confucius Institute is governed by the university policy. As a professor myself at the MTSU, I value the academic freedom more than anything else. So I would not allow any outside influence on at the university's academic freedom.
While some of these issues come down to politics, not everyone is distracted. Ann Mays is focused on her students and their future prospects.
Oh, wait, 小龙。
Students, even as young as kindergarten, are remembering the language, the words that they learn. You know, China is developing so much technology and new innovation that I'm sure a lot of jobs that some of these students will have, possibly jobs that haven't even been created yet, may have roots in China. You know, this early experience with multiculturalism and an appreciation for a different culture, a respect for a different culture, I think really helps to mold and shape them.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, look at me here.
Education is so important. We want generation after generation to be able to make right decision, right choice, and to make this earth more humane.
Thank you for watching Next Door Neighbors Between Two Worlds. You can see our entire Next Door Neighbors series online at ndn.wnpt.org.
Next Door Neighbors is made possible by the support of the Nissan Foundation.